Okay, welcome everybody. So this is just going to be a quick welcome to the course, intro to myself, and also I'll go over a little bit from Canvas here. All right, so here we're on the home page of our course 110B Precalculus. So some of the key info right now, if you notice, we're in the home screen over here. So it's going to have our meeting days and times. We're going to basically meet on campus Mondays and Wednesdays. Fridays we'll have live Zoom class. So keep in mind, this is a hybrid course. So when we do our hybrid course, that means most of the online learning, so like watching the lessons, are going to be online at home. And we're going to use class time to do what I call the ICAs, the in-class assignments. And I'll talk more about those in a bit. Okay, there is me. Here I am right now. Also, my name is Jorge Eduardo Basilio. I have a PhD in math, and yeah, I really love this class, so I'm really excited that you're here. Since we're doing this in the summer session, you can see that we're gonna basically from day one to the last day of class, we're gonna just do this in 5 weeks. You can also take a look at the exams that we have planned. 3 main exams plus 1 final exam. And we're going to do those in person on some of the class meeting days. All right, so let's go back over here. So keep in mind that if I go click on the syllabus here, this will have all the good information about like how we're going to run the course. I'm not going to spend time on the video to going through it. You can kind of see at a glance some of the big key assignments here. So we're going to have a final, the 3 exams. So that's a good chunk of the grade right here. We're going to have some WebAssign homework, so that's going to be using an online homework platform called WebAssign. We're going to have in-class assignments, which you're going to work on together in groups or alone during class or during Zoom, and you upload those to Canvas. We also I'm going to collect the Canvas notes for every section, and we're going to have a few Canvas assignments. So a lot of good information in the syllabus, besides just saying hello and seeing a picture of me. Let me scroll all the way down towards the bottom here. So here we talk about like what this class is. So this class is hybrid, which is kind of unusual, but basically it's like kind of mostly an online course with a little bit of campus meetings. And the campus meetings are just so that we can interact with each other. It's always more productive if we can learn from our colleagues, our classmates, and me. You have me in the classroom, of course. You can ask me questions. So definitely the more prepared you come to classes, especially when we meet, the more fruitful this course is going to be for you. But again, it's still a good chunk of the course, as you're going to have to be preparing the homework and also preparing the class notes by watching the videos. Alrighty, so I'm going to skip over some of this drop policy stuff. This is, you can read this on your own. Hopefully everyone's already done the check-in assignment. Okay, so the textbook, you can get all of this stuff by just getting access to WebAssign. So the key number here is going to be, make sure to enter this to sign up if you haven't already done so. So make sure to use your Glendale email account. I will check that in the next day or so. If you didn't sign up with your Glendale, you can always change it after the fact. So you do not need to create a new account if you didn't do that. Alrighty, so you can kind of take a look at all the other things that are required. And let me skip a little bit further down to the bottom here. So this also explains our assignments, our attendance policy, the grading criteria we pretty much went over. It's pretty standard. The one thing I want to draw your attention to is the late policy. So I'm going to have basically 2 different late policies. The Canvas late policy, you have 2 days, 48 hours from the original due date. No penalties, just use that as kind of a buffer zone. Hopefully the further in along the course, you can turn stuff in on time, because this, the work is pretty intense since we're doing an entire semester in only 5 weeks. So for the online homework platform using the WebAssign, so I have it set up so that it's a 5% penalty per day, and it'll let you do it up to a week from the deadline. So in the summer session, that week deadline might be way past the test, so you will really want to stay on top of it. Look at the schedule. So remember I mentioned, here's our schedule to kind of know how much you should be working on any given week. Alright, so that's it for the syllabus. Let's go back to Canvas. Now the next thing I want to talk about besides just the syllabus, announcements is pretty straightforward. For our Fridays, if you click on Glendale Zoom here, then this is how you can access our meetings here. So our first Friday meeting is over here. I don't know why it says Saturday. I might need to update this or fix it. But there we go. And I don't think you have to enter any password if you just click on that link. It should just automatically work. So the main course here is under modules. So everything's broken up into different chunks. I'll let you read through all of these different pages here in the getting started. So it has some more WebAssign info, another link to the class schedule, plus some other good stuff. You can see a picture of me again. Here's me presenting some of my work. It's my research work right there. Okay, so I like to hide this after I've read everything. The next big thing is some handouts, which for now you can kind of just ignore this chunk, but this is going to have a lot of really nice, handy handouts for you to work on to help you throughout the course. So let's hide that for now. All right, so right now we have one gigantic module for week 1. This is everything we're going to cover this week. So as you kind of look through the structure, it's kind of broken down into 3 chunks depending on the days that we meet for class. So let's kind of go back to the top here. So we'll have kind of a summary. Week 1 will give us some learning objectives. Let's actually click on this. Let's open this up. It's really nice to kind of summarize what we're going to cover throughout the week. So please read all of these carefully, and make sure to reread them, at the end of the week. Be like, oh, we did learn this. And, it's kind of a nice to check up on your learning here. The other thing is it'll have tasks to complete so that you make sure that you're like, oh, did I do this? Did I do this? So for example, this week we have a bunch of Canvas assignments. So there's not going to be a bunch of them every single week. Mostly they're in week 1, and then they'll be more sporadic. So, you definitely want to do these 3. The first 2 should be pretty quick. The third one takes a little bit more time, but it's not too long. It takes maybe 20 minutes or so. But please get those done as soon as you can. And then, of course, you're going to read and watch lessons from about 2 chapters, a chapter and a half. Okay, so again, I'm really sorry these videos are a little delayed. Hopefully after today, we can get caught up and all the videos will be posted much earlier, but here we go. So we're going to cover all of those sections. I'm going to show you on the Canvas pages what those look like in a second. And then, of course, it'll just kind of remind us what we covered on each day and just what are the homework assignments. So actually, somebody asked me during class, what is the right order to do things in? So typically I would recommend watch the video as you take notes. So you do the class notes first. And then you can work on the ICAs or the homework. It's up to you. And then in class, of course, just make sure, check with your classmates that you feel confident about your answers to the ICA. Now, until I post the videos to 6.1 and 6.2, which are coming soon, you might as well just, read the book or just jump straight into the homework and work on some of them. I will point out you get 5 submissions per problem. So after maybe 3 incorrect submissions, save the last 2. And then you can use the Ask My Instructor button to kind of contact me for some help. Or you can wait for class if you've got a few days, if you're doing the homework early. So those are some suggestions. And then, okay, so that's the week 1 learning objectives. Let's go back to our kind of module here. So this is the way I really like to navigate our course. I like to kind of see everything laid out this way. I don't like to click in between the Canvas pages. For me, this is more helpful. So I've already talked about in class what these assignments are like. If you weren't in class today, but you do plan to take our course, make sure to complete all of these by today, please, especially the first 2. Okay, then let's take a look at this before class chunk. So there's about a couple of sections here. You can kind of skip over this prerequisite review. I do recommend you watch the Pythagorean theorem video that's in there. It's really neat. But the formal course begins on 6.1. So let's open up the 6.1 page. This is going to have a lot of key info for us. So it's going to have some objectives. So these are the kind of key takeaways that when you're done with the section, you should be able to do these kinds of tasks on, the ICAs, on homework, on tests, questions. So I'm going to upload a video soon. As soon as I film it, after this one, I'll film the 6.1 section. And it will be essentially me going through these lecture notes. So you can see that there's also the blank notes here. These are nothing filled in, so that you can either download these and write digitally if you have an iPad or some sort of tablet, or you can print them out and then write by hand, and then you take photos of the completed notes after you finish watching the course videos. So this is an important part of our grade. I really believe in handwriting notes. It's just been proven study after study that just if you handwrite notes, then you're just students are more successful. And as you watch the videos, I'd like to invite you to be very critical about like how I'm using color, how I'm like writing things. I try to write a little bit of complete sentences, but it depends on the problem that we're solving. So I really invite you to kind of, as you watch the videos and you kind of copy the notes, to really think critically and try to mimic my good mathematical writing style, so that you can really level up your writing, and then I guarantee you your future calculus instructors will be very, very happy with you. And if they're happy, your grades are very happy. All right, so these are the blank notes. Then at the bottom, it's just a reminder, as soon as you do the notes, you should work on some of the ICAs, in-class assignments. And if you ever want to click on this, you can click on this link. It'll open up this tab. Okay, a lot of pop-ups here. Okay, so for our class, pretty much you're going to be looking at this column, this kind of greenish column. These are the ICAs, and they're broken down by section. So this is section 6.1. So there's quite a few problems, but as you can see, as we get further along, the list kind of gets short with some exceptions, but it's not too much. And again, hopefully, if things go well, if you come to class prepared, the ICAs you should finish and have plenty of time in class to kind of talk to each other, make sure they're correct, ask me questions. And if you finish all of those, you can always jump straight onto your homework and work on your homework. And if you really get stuck on questions, you can always ask me for some guidance, or your classmates. You can work together. I really love collaboration between you students. So there we go. That is our 6.1 module. So okay, keep in mind we're in week 1. We're kind of looking at this before class chunk, and this was for Monday. Once you click on Monday, let's see what this page looks like. It'll kind of just guide us, like, what are we working on for today? Just a reminder, before class you should finish 6162. During class we'll work on 6162 ICA, and then once those are done, of course, you can move on to the next stuff, and then it'll have some links to the ICAs right here, links to the class notes, all that good stuff. Okay, and then here is our first thing where you're going to submit. So this is 6.1 and 6.2, and this I've pushed back till Tuesday, so Tuesday night. And remember, if you can't get it done by Tuesday night, that's okay. You still have that 2-day window, so in theory you can turn these in Wednesday, Thursday, no problem, no penalty. As I mentioned in class, I really prefer higher quality work that's late rather than you turned it in on time but it was rushed. I'll also point out you can actually submit stuff multiple times. So like, let's say you wanted to submit something early, but then you wanted to submit it again. You can do it multiple times, and then you would submit your ICA over here. Now, keep in mind that you're going to submit all classwork with photographs, but the photos have to be converted into a PDF. All right, so that's one of those things that you're going to learn how to do if you don't know how to do that with your own technology. You can follow my suggestions using the syllabus pledge. It'll walk you through those steps. All right, then for Wednesday's class, we've got 3 more sections to prepare, and then in class we'll work on those 3 sections. And then Friday, we've got 3 more sections, and then we've got, we turn in the notes and ICA by basically the end of that day. All right, so that's pretty much our module, and then I have some nice little summary module. Let's take a look at this and then go to the next module if. So if we look at our summary here, it'll kind of walk you through some of the big ideas from the material you learned. And these are really helpful to review, like maybe right before a test. You'd be like, oh yeah, we did learn these things, and you can feel good about, all the knowledge you're acquiring. It'll remind you, this is also at the beginning of the module, but it's kind of good to know, like, oh yeah, did I finish all of these assignments that he asked? Good to kind of check it. And then the last thing, go to the next module if. You can kind of just read this. It's pretty short. Basically, it's kind of, you just click on it when you're done. You're like, oh, yes, I got the congratulations. Okay, great. So there you have it. That is our Canvas course. Also, introduction to me. Let's leave Calvin here. This nice little comic. Once again, my name is Jorge Eduardo Basilio. I'll be your instructor, and I'm super excited that you're here. See you later.